What is up, guys? Megasonic here with another Dragon Ball Super episode review. And oh my god, I have given a lot of respect to Toppo because I'm sorry, just like any other YouTube critic when it comes to this series, I have been tired of Toppo shit. And now I'm actually impressed by Toppo because Toppo, low-key, has some savagery in him, like God of Destruction, God of Savage, I like to call it, because he did a lot of savage things, which we'll get into. Remember to like and subscribe and share this video with anyone you know and love. Now let's get down to why Toppo is the God of Savagery. So, with wasting no time, let's jump with the first pinnacle moment. But let's talk about what's really going on for a second. Goku's still fighting Jiren. Him and Vegeta are still fighting Jiren. That's still not important this week. But anyway, let's go back to the first pinnacle moment, which is 17 versus Toppo, which is an interesting fight. You know, they've been duking it out ever since 17 took out the gigantic dude, the gigantic guy from the universe, I think 3, which the robot universe, but we've been seeing them kind of on again, off again, fighting them with Gohan. Now we're seeing more of the fight, and generally it's a more projectile fight. Like 17's kind of bombarding, using the fact that he, cybernetically has unlimited energy, so he can constantly keep attacking and keep fighting, unlike everyone else who most likely will experience fatigue. And I think that's one of the biggest advantages of having the androids on their side, is because you have unlimited energy, you have unlimited power supply. Use it to your highest potential as you can. So Toppo starts getting bombarded with blasts and stuff. He gets out of one barrage, but he then shows this weird technique which literally engulfs a group of large rock masses, engulfs it, and 17's running. And 17 matches that energy blast with another energy blast. And there's a beam struggle going on. And generally I was thinking okay, 17 might get knocked out this episode pretty early, but no. Frieza comes in after just defeating Dispo and decides to do his dickish thing, such as, bombarding Toppo with some blasts to the back of his his back, and, bombarding him with energy, pretty much, making fun of him, how usual Frieza is. Let me torture you while you're down, or while you're, stuck in the moment. Let me, kick you while you're down. And Frieza does that, which triggers something, which gets to our next pinnacle moment. So after, he loses the beam struggle, Frieza starts kicking him around, pretty much telling him, look, you ain't shit, all that shit. And it kind of really scratches my head, is was this going to unlock afterwards, or was Frieza just going to generally keep, if Frieza didn't say anything or he got even involved in that fight, would he unlock that for him? Because he then gets up and he just says, justice is useless, which really made my eyes open to that fact, because Homeboy been talking about justice since he was introduced. He was on his justice this, Justice League 2, whatever. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but he was on his justice. For him to sit there and say justice is useless, I knew something was about to happen, because if a man been saying justice in his whole character, he's so righteous for justice, and he literally just says, F that, I'm done with justice, I'm nervous. And then a big explosion happened, which even stops Goku and Jiren and Vegeta from fighting. And they all just both of them are just whoa, what the fuck is going on? Then, Homeboy gets a 6-pack, he gets muscles, and everyone in the stadium, including my ass, is sitting in my chair what the fuck? Toppo has ascended to God of Destruction. He is now God of Destruction, Toppo. Or I like to call him the God of Savagery. Which, let's get more into this pinnacle moment, because Homeboy shoots a ki blast. Frieza shoots a ki blast at him, and it does nothing. It literally does nothing to him. It doesn't graze him. It literally looks like sparkle dust soon as it hits his skin. That's because the God of Destruction, the God key from the destruction key, pretty much is wrapped around his body. So it's kind of acting as a disintegrating shield. So no projectiles and possibly no physical attacks can really get through, which makes me very terrified, because this dude, God Destruction Key is not a joke. We seen Beerus just grab Zamatsu and just make Zamatsu into dust. And literally all the Ki blasters that 17 and Frieza are shooting at him are turning into dust. So he shoots that God Destruction orb at Frieza. Now Frieza believes that he can control it just like he did last time, which we later find out that's complete bullshit because I totally believe that Toppo, even just now unlocking his God Destruction powers, is way stronger than someone like, I don't know, what's his name, Cedra from Universe 9, who literally was recorded as the weakest and the worst God Destruction out of everyone else. So Frieza holding his power, yeah, with a little fatigue, a little sweat, yeah, he got the hang of it. But he tried to hold Toppo's power, and it just bit him in the ass. Like, the thing literally engulfed, blew up, warped the literally warped the area they were in. Like, that empty space was all black in the beginning. Then Zetos was like, let's make it green. Now it's like sunshiny purple, whatever. Like, and he literally, it warped the galaxies, and it tore the stadium up into pieces. Right now, there's just nothing but floating rocks and a couple pieces of the stadium still left, which adds more, terrain and more interesting fighting, because now you don't have a flat surface no more. You have more, rock floating around and more dynamic, aerial battles. No one can really fly, quote unquote. But just like, to show how much power he has as a God of Destruction really scares me. And pretty much Frieza's out for now, which gets into our third pinnacle moment, which is 17 trying to find an opening so he can take out Toppo, God of Savagery. And Toppo is generally, he's indestructible. Now, Beerus does find out that Toppo does have to charge up his energy before he releases his God of Destruction energy, which is good. But, 17 tries everything, tries to hit him in all directions, doesn't work out. Tries to hit him in any way he can, and it just doesn't work out. Toppo is on his ass, shooting, moving fast as he can, beating the mess out of 17. 17's trying his hardest, but it's just not working out because Toppo is literally indestructible. Like, we need someone like Vegeta or Goku to go up against that, and hopefully, get up close and do some damage, because Frieza, survives that. I was surprised throughout the whole episode. I was sitting there just like, did Frieza just die? Is anyone going to talk about that? Most likely because he's not dead, but damn, if Frieza died and Toppo was taken out of the tournament, yeah, that'd be a waste of a potential of a great fight, but imagine what kind of impression that will lead for the fan base. The speculation, especially with the hiatus coming, oh, that would make it exciting. So, Frieza gets back in the fight like an idiot, and hops up and says, you know what, F you, F your family, F the God Destruction, you ain't shit, I'm gonna destroy you myself, I'm gonna erase you. And he does, the OG Supernova. We haven't seen Supernova since the Bardock series. Like, I don't remember even the last time I saw Supernova was probably, I don't even think that, is that movie even in Dragon Ball FighterZ? I don't even think so. I gotta put that in and play as Frieza real quick, because I don't even think that move is brought back. Like, literally, Frieza hasn't used this move in over 20 years, in my opinion, I think. Was he using Resurrection? I wasn't even using Resurrection F. Like, anyway, this is the move that killed the Saiyans, quote unquote. So yeah, I know that. This is the same technique that laid out the Saiyans, and you all know that Frieza is hundreds of thousands times stronger than he was back then. So keep that in mind. The same attack is what clearly wiped out the Saiyan race. They thought it was a meteor. Literally, it's Frieza tossing his energy. He wasn't in final form, he was in his restriction form. So imagine how strong he is in his final form, using as much energy as possible. He's a lot stronger than he was back then. And he chucks, think of the power that thing has now, and what's the possibility it can do now. Imagine Toppo flicking a tiny God of Destruction, little pea-sized attack, calling Supernova rubbish and flicking it right at it and watch that thing go away. That would make anyone at the drop of that hat go, oh my god. Like I said, Frieza's like 100,000 times stronger than he was on Namek. He's something that can even rival the gods. You mean to tell me that attack was literally barely any worth, probably even Jiren, barely worth even Toppo's power. Toppo's probably very close to Ultra Instinct, Kefla, and Jiren. He's probably like number 3 or number 4 on that list. Like, the gigantic thing, Universe 3 was like number 3 on that list. Nah, number 4 or 3 on that list is Toppo, God of Destruction, or God of Savagery. Now, like, the episode kind of ends with like Frieza getting knocked out, 17 saving Frieza by throwing a rock at him, and 17 pretty much stuck in a one-on-one fight with a guy who most likely can use him as a back scratcher. And oh my god, this episode was tense, and I feel like everyone now was going to have a little bit more respect for Toppo for what he is and what he can do, because it was a really interesting character development for him. But just, oh my god, this episode, obviously you can tell in my voice that I'm fanboying to the fullest. But anyway, remember, if you like this video, you want to subscribe to it, remember I do these every week, not for long because of the hiatus that will be happening. Probably we won't see Dragon Ball Super in about a year or so, I don't know. But generally I do talk about Dragon Ball Z things, and I do plan to do some more Dragon Ball videos of what stories they can do, what comes after the hiatus, or what comes after this tournament. So feel free to like and subscribe, and you also hit that notification bell so you can get notified of whatever videos I do in the upcoming year. So anyway, I'll see you guys later. Megasonic out. Peace.